Welcome to the Whiskey Chasers, where we talk about our passion for whiskey and its history, either amongst ourselves or while interviewing distilleries, all while enjoying a glass. I'm Steve.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Chris.
Please enjoy responsibly while enjoying this week's episode of the Whiskey Chasers. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. We're doing something fun and special like we did for Thanksgiving. And this is the end of the year. This is the last Thursday before New Year's. Before the New Year.
Wow. I mean, think about that for a minute.
Like, so if that blows your mind, so the idea was let's do an episode at the end of the year that but we got to pick our favorite bottle from the club.
Which was a lot to, or the podcast.
Or the podcast,
yes.
And so Steve sent us the list, and I literally sat there, I was like, holy crap. Like, we went through a crap ton of good bottles this year.
It was really hard to pick a favorite. And so I'm like, obviously for the podcast, those ones kind of go all over the place. We keep a little bit of a series going kind of throughout the year, but it's different kind of all the time. With the club, our new year starts in July for the club. So the first half of the year was all of our finished bottles because last year was finishings.
Right,
And then the second half of the year was our current, which is all store picks. So, yeah, I mean, we're kind of all over the place on different stuff.
And what was available to choose from? Going from a calendar year.
So we had all little books except for chapter 9. So chapter 9 came out after we did all the little books this year.
Does that mean I'm going to be able to be on a chapter 9 podcast?
Oh,
because I missed all of Little Book.
Yeah.
There's a possibility of the chapter 9 and Infinite too. So like by the time we get around to it, do we just wait for chapter 10 and Infinite 3?
Maybe. Yeah. Do another little series on that. As long as I'm on it, I don't really care too much about the
what
timing.
Steve is getting at is he just revealed.
Yeah, I did say I'm not taking a break this year, so I will be here I won't be taking my normal tax break. I'm still doing taxes, but I decided I need a touch of sanity in my life.
It's the only time you're going to get a tax break.
Right, this is it. This is the only
It's the only time in your life you're going to get a break on it.
And you guys are my sanity break, which maybe says more about my life than
And we'll still have guests and stuff, but Steve will be joining.
yes.
So get ready, 2026.
I might skip a few here and there, but for the most part, I'll be around.
We went through all the little books.
Yep.
We went through.
I was tempted to pick a little book.
I know.
So I can drink
just
it.
so you can have some again?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is something. I'll pick a little book 1 through 8.
This year we also did flavored whiskey out of the random that Chris wasn't on.
Yeah. Oh,
So, like,
shucks. Sorry.
I know,
I
right?
was going to pick one of
I was
those.
going to get it flavored, yeah. We went through Old Overholt. We went through some Jack
Yeah,
Daniels.
I saw those flavored ones. I was like, what? I was like, oh, yeah.
I wasn't on that
I wasn't
one.
there for
Yeah.
those. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
So it was hard to pick. I know for me, I literally sat in front of my liquor cabinet there and I was just like, I don't know what to pick. Like, there's so many that we could do. Yeah. They're like, for the best, what does that even mean? Like,
Exactly. Yeah. And then
it'll
on
be
top
fun.
of that, the club. And so, yeah.
I feel like that could change too, like day to day. Like
Oh, for
today,
sure.
what I picked, maybe tomorrow I would pick something else. I don't know, but I think we made good picks.
I think so.
Looking
too.
at the bottles on the table here, we're also going to go through. So we have pretty much laid out the tobacco that we have smoked throughout the year on the podcast, and we're going to go through. We're going to just pick something. We're going to try a little bit of what we decided on, and we're going to decide the tobacco based on that. But we're going to pull from what we smoked. So that'll be interesting.
Absolutely. So I know Chris and I both picked club bottles.
Yep.
Nick, did you pick a club bottle or
I
a
did not.
podcast
I picked
bottle?
a
Okay.
podcast. Yeah.
Nice.
I was telling Steve earlier, Chris, it was really hard for me to decide. Because we have all the little books. And I was like, that's kind of not fair. Like, I have them. So, like, it's kind of not fair that I'm just going to bring this and be like, I'm sorry, guys, don't get this one.
Yeah. Big D.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And then I started looking at, like, the best ones, like the ones that I was like, man, flavor-wise just blew us out of the water. And Liberty Pole, of course, came to my mind. Then I had Barker's Mill, Walleye Run.
Mm-hmm. Walleye Run.
From-
Wiggle was one that was
Wiggle,
probably a 400.
and then there was Empire Rye from
the Empire
yeah.
Rye
And I
was
was like,
good.
oh man, like we're talking like that time of year where it's dark flavor, great. I actually tried Empire Rye, so without trying anything, I decided Barker's Mill, Empire Rye. Those are the two. Yeah. And I decided to try them side by side, and I was like, Barker's Mill wins.
Barker's Mill.
Like that's
Barker's
the
Mill
winner.
was a favorite. Not, I mean, we loved it on the podcast, but it was also a favorite for one of the club nights. A lot of people got to try it.
To the point where we actually have this year for the club a store pick of their rye. So like that'll be fun.
I thought maybe a contender for you. For me, a contender was going to be OCD as well, especially we're still in the holiday season. That kind of works too. But I did really like that bottle and I almost went with it.
Again, there were so many like looking at just the ones we did on the podcast. And I was like, oh man, like how do I narrow this down? Like, how do I decide? And then you add on the club bottles on top of that and you're like, well, crap. Like,
yeah. Well, and I cheated. Kind of.
Yeah, we're going to get to your little cheat here in a minute.
So what'd you get there, Steve?
Yeah. So I picked a club bottle. So I went back to our finishing series because I always love a good finish. And I went with Neely Family Distilling, the apricot brandy.
Which was
Finish.
that was a good choice.
Yeah. So 112 proof. It's a Turkish apricot brandy finish. And Neely Family Distilling, never been there, but Nick, you've been there, and so I think
I've
that's
been there.
Oh, Chris, you've been there also,
Kind of, but Nick's been there twice.
yeah. So they're another one that's on our list for possible interviews in the future and everything. So excited to try more of their stuff. But I've decided to go with that one. Those club bottles are always good, and finishings are great.
was that a Princetoner night too?
It was.
It was
March.
Yeah,
Was the one. So yeah. That was a Princetoner as well.
I don't remember what we had.
I don't know. I have a sample bottle here, which means I wasn't there. So I don't know what the food was.
I
why did I
remember
miss
it being.
March?
I thought it was chicken.
I don't know that you missed it. I think that was at the end of the year, the drawing.
Oh, that you know what? You're right.
Yeah, that
I
was-
did.
that
There
was
we
the
go.
end of the year.
I
You
was
were
gonna say,
there.
I was
You were
like,
there when we had it.
I definitely was. I was like,
Yeah.
why would I miss March? Yeah,
I want to say it was a chicken something.
it was. That sounds right.
It was a chicken something. I think it was good. I mean, it was.
It was
they're
really
always
good.
It's yeah.
But I do
I-
remember
yeah.
that pairing being because we talked about the apricot being a very hard thing to pair food with because it actually does come through, and it worked out.
It worked really well.
Yeah, and I think you did like an apricot, almost like cobbler. I suppose was like the dessert
Yeah,
for it.
I think you're right.
And
There was a cobbler.
He added some of this in with it.
Was that the cornbread? Like the cornbread cobbler?
No.
Cornbread?
No, that was for October.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
that was just happened. Yeah, yeah,
That's why it's stuck in your mind.
exactly.
That was really
yeah,
good. I didn't know you could do that with cornbread.
Yeah. Me and Nick stopped off at Neely for a little potty break.
Yeah.
While we were driving, and
That's
then
actually where we found these.
we
or
didn't
saw
get a
these,
chance
yeah.
to actually do anything there. But then you went back later
Yeah.
on, and yeah. So what else did you bring? Or I guess I should say, what did you decide for the pipe?
So as I was looking through everything, I was trying to figure out what to do here. I'm gonna land on cross-eyed cricket.
Cross-eyed cricket.
I think, yeah. And so because it has a touch of an aromatic to it, it has a topping of some sort. A light rum punch flavor is what it says on the side here.
It's because it says aromatic or not.
Yeah,
you decide.
exactly. Yeah. And with the finishing, I thought that would go well with that. So I'm gonna try out some cross-eyed cricket. And I do remember really enjoying
Yeah,
cross-eyed
because
cricket.
you've actually, I don't know if you realize this, you've brought that up like 3 or 4 times.
What's that?
The cross-eyed cricket. You've talked about it quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like it's
I really
one that you
enjoy
keep
it.
bringing up, and I'm like, he really enjoyed that
I
more
do.
than
I really
I
do.
thought you. I bought that tin thinking like it'd be, I don't know,
Oh,
maybe,
whatever.
you know?
Yeah.
And I remember when we popped it, we were both kind of surprised.
Yeah,
but then you've talked about that quite a
I
bit.
really enjoy it. It's a good one.
So that leaves me, and I
And you cheated.
cheated, kind of.
How did you cheat there, Chris?
We I couldn't even remember if it was this year or not, but it sounds like it was this year.
I think it was.
So,
Yeah.
so at least I got that in that parameter.
Yeah.
But we did have a club meeting at Blake's house. It was Blake's house, I believe, and we had a club bottle there, and it was great. But before we even opened it, Nick was like, "Hey, I also brought this thing, and you guys should try it." And I don't think at that point had you tried it.
I had.
You had.
I was really
And,
interested in what you guys thought.
I think you even said something like, "I don't know if I should give this to you guys yet." But we tried it before we ate and before we had the club bottle.
Yeah.
And we were all like, hold on, this is really, really good. And I even think like Micah maybe thought it was the club bottle for that day, but it wasn't. And then, we liked it so much. Then we started drinking the club bottle, which was good, but we were all like going back to this.
It kind of got
And
overshadowed.
We
Yeah.
were like, this is really kind of ruining the club bottle, like, because it's just so good.
And how you asked the question to figure out what bottle it was, hey guys, do you remember that bottle of Blake's house that overshadowed the club bottle? What was that?
What was that? Because I couldn't remember it. I just remember it being really good.
To just give you a peek of what club nights are, there is one bottle that is brought for the club, But we all have our own bars, and we meet once a month. So we all bring stuff we've had over the last month. So we're sampling like a bunch of different bottles.
Almost anytime you find something new or
You're
whatever.
gonna bring those and do all that. And so even though this wasn't necessarily a club bottle, we all had it at a club meeting. So therefore it counts.
It counts.
It counts.
Yes.
It counts.
And it kind of fits with this year's theme, which is hilarious that we didn't have it this year, but like it fits.
But it works, yeah. And what's funny was I couldn't remember what it was, but I remember how much I enjoyed it.
It's the coolest bottle ever.
It is really cool.
enjoy it. Could almost fall into the gimmicky category.
When
but
you look at this, you think I'm not going to want to drink it because it's so gimmicky. I even said, like, I hate the bottle because it is too gimmicky, although it is quality. Like when you tap it, it's metal and whatnot. But it's got a cool like 6-shooter revolver cylinder with the bullets on top. So it's white earp is what it is. Yeah. And it looks like an old, dollar bill that's purple or something. But it's American whiskey, aged 13 years. And the proof on it is what is so surprising because it is proofy, but it doesn't taste proofy.
Yep, it is a hazmat.
It's surprising. Yeah.
It's along the edge here, yeah.
Yeah. What is it? 81%. So
162.
Yeah, 162. Holy cow. Like, and no wonder I like it, right? But it doesn't,
But it does not taste it.
It does not taste like you're drinking White Lightning.
Yeah, what I remember of that bottle is taking a drink and being like, this is like maybe 80 proof. Like, this is so light. But then my mouth went numb. So it like just sneaks because it
sneaks up on
it's such
you.
a heavy alcohol content.
Yeah. Like,
But
you're
it's
drinking
just so
something
light.
that's, it's like not liquidy watery. You know what I mean? But it doesn't taste anywhere near 160
So
proof.
you guys might consider this sacrilege, but the other day I actually kind of maybe mixed this with some cherry Coke.
Oh,
Just a very smidge.
that
It
is
wasn't even like an
sacrilege,
ounce.
But
It
I'm
was
sure it was all right.
it tasted like coffee. I told Mary it was the only thing that I've ever put together that came out tasting like coffee. And it was cherry cola and 162 proof.
The best
whiskey.
thing about this is I'm borrowing Nick. This is Nick's bottle, so I get to pour however I want. But I would not mind getting myself one of these. Oh, this also is a handy spot liquor.
Yeah, you're not going to get one of these,
Yeah,
by the
so
way.
probably
Yeah.
not gonna get one of these.
Did
So
you
I might
see-
as well pour it?
Have you seen what he called it?
I dripped on
On the
table.
sticker, did you see what he called?
Sweet heat?
Sweet Heat.
Sweet heat.
Which-
Okay, I get
yeah,
that.
that's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
That fits right in with that guy.
I mean, when you're talking wings, Sweet Heat's going to be something I'm going after. Like that's right up my alley. Maybe that's why I like it so much.
Reminds you
It's
of
a
the thing
little
you
sweet,
can't
but
have.
it's a little
Yeah.
hot. It's like mango habanero, my favorite like wing sauce or hot sauce. Yeah, you mix a little mango habanero.
It's a good combo.
That's a great
Yeah, yeah.
combination.
So what are you smoking with?
So I've been talking. Well, let me take a sip.
You want to take a small
Yeah,
sip.
I got to take a sip. Oh yeah, God, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really good. And
It like sneaks up on you.
yeah, I mean, and it's got such a long finish.
Yeah.
And again, like you can tell it's got proof to it, but not anywhere near 162 proof or whatever it is. But there is a lot more. It's been a while since I've had this. So Sweet Heat is such a good description of this.
Yeah,
Because it is very sweet. It's almost got some fruity sweet to it. That kind of sweet, not honey sweet, not sugar sweet, but like more fruity sweet. And then it's got a good amount of oak. And I think that's because it is 13 years. So I think what I'm going to smoke with this is Irish Flake.
Irish
Ooh,
Flake. That's a good
okay.
one.
Yeah. Because Irish Flake is going to it's not going to take away from this. Which I don't think you can. But it's not going to be pulling away from the flavors either. It's just going to add like kind of a nice, it's like a sponge. It's going to kind of soak it up.
And Irish Flake was a pretty surprising tobacco for us also, which I think works well with this. And so, yeah.
Yeah, it was, it had some really good, like just solid tobacco flavor, but it wasn't overly spicy. It wasn't overly dull. I just remember it being like really a good solid overall. And look how dark that is, man. It's got some age on it. Yeah, I'm pumped about this combination. Yeah. So let me load this up.
So I'm curious because we talked about how many different bottles we've had. I mean, we're talking every Thursday we dropped an episode. So
that's 52-ish, 50-ish,
Yeah.
about 50 bottles.
and then on top of that, club bottles. The,
Yeah,
like
so that's another 12.
Well, if we did, another 12 if we're doing the full year.
Yeah.
So like 68 bottles? No, 64 bottles.
64 bottles, yeah.
So I'm curious, how did you guys come to the conclusion, or how did you justify this is my favorite? Like this was the one.
So I definitely have to add the caveat that with all of our club bottles and all of our podcast bottles, for the club in particular, those bottles go with whoever hosts. So we may not have access to them. And so there are definitely a few bottles that, even though they were options, we don't really have them as options.
Yeah. There were some that were like, I don't think we have any more of that left.
Yeah, either it's not around anymore, or it's with whoever hosted, and they could.
Most of the club bottles don't make it through the night.
Yeah, most of those go away before the end of the night.
Or they go away in the guy's collection.
Right.
But usually there's only a sip or two left.
Yeah. There's usually not much left.
Because we're generous.
When we started the club, we measured out a 2-ounce pour for everybody and all that. And now you just pass the bottle. It's more of an honor system.
Yeah, we're almost happy when people get second, the seconds on it or whatever. Nobody ever cares.
Yeah. So the club bottles are a little bit harder because of that. But we always do set back at least a single pour to raffle off at the end of the year, which is how I ended up with this. So part of it was that I knew I needed to narrow things down, and I have the serious misfortune of missing like half the year of podcasting and stuff. So that eliminated a lot of bottles at the beginning of the year.
Because you didn't try them, or?
Well, I wasn't on the shows. And so a lot of them I never did try.
Okay. Yeah.
For various reasons. I've had all of the little books and all that, but at least some of those at the beginning, I've just never had. You killed them, or right, because there's a few of them there that you like were ending.
Yeah, we kind of killed them,
or we didn't think to just have a time where you tried them.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So the memory wasn't there. Now I knew, because of all of that, I narrowed it down that I like finishings. I knew that and I was kind of in the mood for a finishing, and I had access to a few of them. I had the Middle West one at home.
Yeah.
So I thought about that one. And so I ended up trying them next to each other. All I had was little samples. Yeah. And so I could only do just like a teeny little bit of both of them. But I landed on this one. I decided I just liked the finish on this a little bit better. And it had some more, I guess, sweetness to it that I just was kind of in the mood for today.
Yeah.
So that's how I landed on Neely.
Well, and that's cool because we've talked about Neely being a brand that maybe we might see a little bit more of. We're definitely going to have it more on the podcast, but I think that it's a brand that's pretty up and coming. They're starting to put out some more products and things like that. So
they definitely are on our radar. I find it interesting that you had the Middle West Vino de Naraha, and we talk about favorites being very subjective. Yeah, because Herm, that's his bottle.
Oh yeah, he really likes that.
He got that bottle that night. Like, we had one for the club, and he got to take that one home and barely pours out of that guy because he's like, I don't want to.
He does love that.
I don't want to waste it. Like, I don't want to lose it. I don't want to waste it. It's a special bottle for a special time. And I remember this one. So, the story behind these bottles, Neely, we almost had two of them for the club, by the way, because I was trying to get Chris to go with me, but I got down there. And they had like 6 offerings of different finishings. And each finish has its own mash bill. So I believe that one was a higher wheat mash bill. They had French oak cognac barrels, which that's the one that I have at home that Chris said never to share with anyone, and it's his. That one I think was a higher rye content that they did with that. And then they had like, I think it was Ambrana wood. They had like a few different rum finishings. They had so many different, like 6 different ones that you could try. And so I went down there, sat at the bar, and I was like, look, here's what I'm here for. I have a club doing finishings. I just want to try what you guys have finished wise to figure out what are we going to take with us. And the guy goes, yeah, sure. Why not? By the way, if you do the tour, then it comes, it's the price. It's paid for. It's covered. I was like, that's fine. Like, I got to go to other places, so I'll just take care of the tastings. He didn't hear that part. Apparently he heard that's fine and got me in on the tour, which then turned to like an hour-long event of me tasting, then going on the tour, then trying to get back on the road to go find. And this is my first stop. So it was like great.
It was a lot. Yeah.
It was a lot.
But they were pretty gracious hosts.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
they were great. And I remember trying this one and thinking, holy crap, like this is something different. This is really good. That apricot pulls through, and like we had the barrel seagrass on. We've done that, which is an apricot brandy, but this is something different. I remember talking about the seagrass and you guys saying there was a clear, definitive line between the whiskey and the apricot
Yeah.
brandy.
That's
And
what I-
liking,
yeah.
like
Yeah, you really disliked
I
that
really
bottle
disliked that because of it.
But,
Well,
yeah.
what I said was I love everything about this except for they didn't use quality whiskey. In my opinion, that's what it tasted like. I said if you had a quality whiskey with the way that they finished this, it'd be so amazing. And I think that's kind of what Neely's got.
Yeah,
that the
I would
Barrel
agree.
Seagrass
Yeah.
didn't have going for it.
it's got that nice quality whiskey, but also nice transition between the two. I don't remember it stopping, going, "Oh, there was the whiskey. Okay, here's the brandy."
Yeah, like stepping off the cliff.
Right.
Like where one ends and one starts.
Yeah, this is a much better blend in that
Yeah,
way.
more meshed together.
Yeah, and the apricot is, I mean, it's kind of all the way through, but it really shows up right in the middle, but it still has a nice finish to it. And so yeah, it's a really good bottle. I really enjoyed it. It was a brand that I'd never had before, which is always exciting to try something new from a place you've never had and having it work out. So yeah, it was a very good bottle.
And that cross-eyed cricket that you're smoking,
It's working out
it
perfect.
smells so great for an like an English blend, not an English blend. I always call it a crossover.
Yeah.
But that little bit of, I don't even know if I don't think it's a casing. It's probably topping, but they've got stuff in there that makes it almost an aromatic.
Right.
And it comes through at the nose just enough to still, like, as a tobacco smoker, a pipe smoker, you're still like, I really appreciate this as an aromatic. Because really aromatic smokers are not going to call that an aromatic. But somebody who's used to smoking straight tobaccos, that is aromatic in a good way. It was still with a ton of tobacco flavor. And that is what Cornell and Dale does so well. They do have some like more aromatic stuff, but most of their aromatics are for the pipe smoker.
Right.
Like they're not like junk tobacco. They're not cased in, all this garbage. They're not hot. They're not hard. They're not temperamental. They actually do a really good job of it's quality leaf, and it's usually their aromatic stuff is just aromatic enough that you still get all the tobacco nuance.
Right. And as I was looking through all this, the other one that I thought about grabbing was Sun Bear, which is a honey topping finish, I guess. Or it's kind of aromatic with some honey.
Is that the one with the tequila?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tequila, and then Jeremy Reeves, he puts his own honey, which is so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Like the dude like keeps bees, and then he's like, yeah, let me throw this in the tobacco. Yeah. So it's very limited. Like it's already a small batch thing. He's using leaf that's not readily available, but then it's like his own honey. Like it doesn't get any more limited, like small batch than
Or
that.
personal.
Right.
Or personal.
yeah,
Yeah,
or
that's
personal.
personal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. How's yours going, Chris?
I think I made a good pairing because this tobacco is just what it is. Good quality tobacco, with a lot of flavor, but it's not adding to and it's not taking away. For me, it's perfect with this bottle because this bottle actually is a ride. It really is not something that you can, and I actually don't think it's something you can have a whole lot of because, again, it's not for that high a proof. You don't notice it, but I think it's translating to flavor. Maybe that's what it is. The proof is translating to flavor, so you're not realizing it's proof. It's just so full flavored that it's like really kind of like making my brain fire on all cylinders. Like, and I think there's only so much you can do. It's like a ride in an amusement park. Like you're only going to go on a roller coaster so long before you need either a break or just you're done for the day, And that's kind of what this is. Like it's a really fun ride. It's got a whole lot of flavor. Like I said, it's sweet, but the sweet notes are a little bit deep. They're not like on the surface.
Yeah.
They're like more
Like a plum?
fruity, but it's like the kind that you got to dig for, like it's not the stuff that's easily pickable. You know what I mean? It's something that's really, you got to work for it. And then that dark kind of sweet, matured fruit, stewed fruit kind of goes along with this good amount of oak. And it's not like an old oak. It's almost like a newer oak, but it still has that age on it, which that's kind of a weird concept, right? It's not like old oak. It's like new oak, but matured. So maybe like an oak and it's like mid-20s. You know what I mean? Right? It's like I'm not so young that I'm cocky anymore. However, like I am confident and I do have some
I know what I bring to the
experience,
table.
Yeah.
Right.
But I still got a long time to go. But like maybe it's an oak that looks younger than he is. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So, you add all that up with, I don't know what the mash bill is.
It does say on the
Does it say it?
bottom
I
there.
mean,
Yeah.
I've got to think that it's got some rye in there.
None.
None.
No, it's malted something.
Yeah, so 79.8% malted barley.
Wow, that's a lot.
17.8% malted wheat.
Malted, and I like
then
it.
2.4% of torrefied wheat,
So there's zero corn in that.
0 corn.
Holy hell. Where's all that sweetness coming from? That's amazing. I mean, I knew it wasn't super high corn, but I thought there would be some rye in there. But
And
I
he
think
normally does
it's all
rice.
the, well,
Yeah.
and it just must be all the other flavors working together to kind of bring out that. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe if that was any more baking spice, it wouldn't be good. I don't think. I think it'd be just too much. So maybe they're leaving the rye out's the way to go. But it does have a lot of spice for something without any rye.
So the funny thing is with this bottle, I really enjoy it, but I don't know that I ever consider a favorite, not because I don't like it, but because it is a palate overload.
It is. That's what I'm saying.
It is like
You're riding that ride until
yeah.
then you want to get off. Like after a minute, like it's not an all day. It's not even a 2 glass.
I remember doing a barrel pick with Tipsy for Maker's Mark, and he made a comment of like, "Hey, how many blends can we try before you say we're done?" Because you could do like endless amounts of different combinations and still never go through all the combinations they could do.
It's taxing on your palate.
Her response was, "We do max of 10 because it's an overload. It's a palate overload to where like everything starts tasting the same after a while." That's how I feel with this glass. That opened my eyes to what that really meant. I feel like after 10 tries with Maker's Mark, it's like, okay, I could do it again, but it does taste the same because it's the same thing. 10 glasses of this and be like, this is way overload.
You know what's weird is I do get a little bit, and it's not when I'm drinking it, and I don't know if it's the tobacco, but it's lingering on my tongue quite a bit, so I got to bring it up. But it's the mint that they use in mojitos. What
Fresh
is that?
mint?
What
Yeah,
is
like
that?
garden
mint?
I think it's just
Is that
it's
mint,
usually
spearmint or something? I don't know.
usually it's mint leaves.
But it's like but maybe it's
Like
more
fresh
fresh.
mint.
I don't
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
but not like when I say mint, I'm not thinking like peppermint or things like that. But it's like a mojito mint. There's a little bit of that on this, and I'm like I keep like not wanting to say mint, like it sound like Ryan, Ryan, if you're listening, but really is like mint on my tongue. And I don't know if it's the fact that I'm smoking this with this, but there's something about this that is really bringing that, and it's like a mojito. Very interesting flavor, along with all the other notes that I've already talked about. It's just a weird combination, but it's nice.
That's fascinating for me. Like, the smell of Worcestershire sauce and like the taste of like soy sauce.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce. Yeah.
So that's the flavor and smell I get off of that glass, which I love.
Yeah.
Is like this deep like soy sauce.
Kind of soy.
Yeah. That fermented like Worcestershire sauce is like fermented stuff, like things.
And I get where you come with it. I almost wonder if you're kind of pulling the same flavor I'm talking about.
It's a
with
very
those
unique
two.
one. Yeah.
I almost wonder if you drank it and thought mojito, you might be thinking, oh yeah.
Oh, that makes
Because
sense.
again, with that sweet and everything else. But yeah, it's very good. And what's crazy is like, dude, I never looking at that bottle. It's so gimmicky. We'll put a photo. We'll do a photo.
It'll be the what you're looking at right now.
What you're looking at. It'll be staring you in the face.
The crossed
It's
guns
just
on the front, the 6-shooter cap on the top. I mean,
you can't even read all of it because the crossed guns are in front. But it is so gimmicky looking. Like, nah. And then White Herb. I love White Herb. Which, by the way, let's do this. Kevin Costner or Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell.
That's tough. I keep thinking Kevin.
Okay, I'm a big Kurt Russell fan. And for those two, like Tombstone or White Herb, dude, there's only one White Herb, and it is Kurt Russell in my opinion. I love Kevin Costner. I'm a Kevin Costner
Right,
fanatic.
that's why I keep struggling with
But
it. Like,
Kurt Russell, dude, and the guy had the best mustache.
He
ever.
did. That movie was full of good mustaches.
So many good. Yeah, you had Sam Elliott in that one.
Yeah, Sam
and
Elliott
I mean,
was in
you want
there.
to talk about mustache?
Right.
But then, like when he's got the boomstick and it's raining, and he's like, "And hell's coming with me." It's like, hell yeah, it is. Like, God, what a man, dude. Like your wife's all high on laudanum, and you're possibly cheating on her and stuff. But you're still cool.
you're still a man. I
Like,
still
that's-
got it.
Like I don't like that part, but everything else is great. Yeah, it's a great movie, dude. Well, yeah, there's usually people in one camp or the other. I mean, if we're talking White Herb now, we got to talk about it. And I think Kurt Russell.
You know what's interesting? So we have had 3 bottles from this company now. One you weren't not present for.
World Whiskey Society, right?
Yep.
Is the company? Okay.
So we had Doc Holliday, which
Yeah.
you were not. I think it was Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday. Yeah. Doc Holliday. Yeah.
because he's. No,
I didn't know. Are
is
those
it Doc?
all the same brand though?
Is it Doc Holliday? No,
There's-
it's
Or are you talking about the Holiday? Because we have
there's Ben Holiday.
Yeah,
Ben Holiday, and then
No, there is a Doc
There's
Holliday.
There is a Doc Holiday
because
that they do.
they
yeah.
kind of they go
And
off
it
of that
kinda
Western.
looks
Yeah,
like
it is that. Yeah, it's
But is that the same brand?
yeah. They've got the Midwestern, like kind of country Western themed movie kind of feel. But then we also had their bottle from Tipsy, the World Whiskey Society 19-year-old light American light whiskey. There was a like gargoyle looking one that we had a year
yeah.
for the Princeton. That was them too. So like
Oh yeah. And that's a very gothic looking
Yeah.
bottle, not like this
it's
at
not
all.
Western. It's super interesting to look at. Like they're all about
They're
them
very
marketing.
gimmicky, but it's
yes.
good. Yeah, and we don't know where they don't say where it's sourced. Probably,
It's sourced,
but,
yeah.
But yeah, well, I mean, who cares? It's so great. Yeah, we didn't even talk about Val Kilmer. So interesting thing. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast or not, but now I'm going back and forth because originally, it's always I'll be your Huckleberry, right? But then I saw the thing like a couple years ago. It said no. A hucklebearer is the huckle is the
Like a
handle
casket. Yeah,
on a
they-
casket. So when you say I'll be your hucklebearer, that means you will carry that person and put him in his grave, which was the thing. Like if you carry you were a hucklebearer. And that is so much more of like a meaningful, I'll be your hucklebearer, like talk about a taunt. But so I'm like, okay, that's what it is. That's cool. It's like a thing that nobody knows. But then I think Val Kilmer came out with like a book or an autobiography or something, and either on the page or like on the cover or one of the chapters, it says, I'll be your huckleberry. Like, so again, is it Huckleberry or is it Huckleberry?
yeah.
Yeah. The script was Huckleberry.
Huckleberry.
So Huckleberry
So it was
is
never
what
made to
is.
be
It was-
Hucklebearer.
It was never meant to be Hucklebearer. That's something that people kind of put together for
Yeah.
it.
But that is so much cooler. Should have been Huckleberry from the beginning.
It should have been. Yeah. It makes sense and it fits and it would be a good taunt. A Huckleberry, there is a story on why that is also
like
something.
Huckleberry
but I don't
pie.
Yeah,
remember.
Huckleberry's a fruit.
Huckleberry,
Bears
the
love
dog,
Huckleberry,
like
yeah.
the cartoon. Remember that cartoon dog?
No.
Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah.
I think it was Huckleberry, right?
It was that his name? It was a sheriff or
He was
whatever.
like a sheriff dog that was
Yeah,
blue, and he had like a hat and pistols and stuff.
Yeah.
Where, on
Yeah,
Boomerang.
it's an old school Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Old school
one, yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah, it's a boomerang.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a boomerang for the people that grew up in the late
Yeah.
1990s
Yeah.
and early 2000s.
The TV Land cartoon channel.
TV Land cartoon channel. That's right.
Boomerang.
That Boomerang was great growing up. I don't know if it's still a thing. It probably is, but they
I'm
probably
sure it
play
is, but
stuff from like 2010s.
Yeah.
It's not like the old cartoons like we grew up with.
But Huckleberry it's a very big popular berry out in like the
So
west.
we
It
used
is.
to
Out
eat
west, it is a big thing. Yeah.
in the Midwest too. Because we ate huckleberry pie like in Missouri.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
Missouri
we
would have it.
definitely
Yeah.
had huckleberry, which is a very sour pie. It's like, and I like it, but it's like sour sweet, semi sweet.
The first time I had anything of that was when I was at Yellowstone. Out in Yellowstone, they have a lot of stuff with huckleberry
Yes.
in it.
And they
'cause
try
they
to
grow a lot out there.
trick the tourist with blackberry. They do like blackberry, blueberry, and that's huckleberry.
It's kind of like gooseberry. Have you ever had a
Yes,
gooseberry
yeah,
pie? That's
yeah.
another one that's kind of tart. Or rhubarb. That's another tart one. But yeah, I want to say that there's some down south, right? Huckleberry?
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotta
I
be
don't know.
right.
I know that. So when we were in Montana, there was a distillery that had like huckleberry cream, like that was there, and they had like huckleberry flavored whiskey and stuff.
Yeah. It's like whorehound candy.
Yeah.
Right? We've talked about that
But
on
they
the
talked about how like
podcast.
during the huckleberry season when it's ripe, none of the locals go hiking because bears love huckleberries.
Well, that makes sense.
And so they'll like that's when the bears are out most is when the huckleberries are ripe. They try to go and eat them.
And I think it's kind of early fall too, is
Yeah,
when it
yeah.
is. So that's when they're fattening up and everything.
I heard that one or the other was named after that. I don't know if that's true. Either berries were named after the fact that bears ate them so much, or that bears were named after the fact that they ate berries. I don't know which one's true,
Yeah, I
or if
don't
either
know.
one's true. But
That
I
does
have
make
heard,
sense,
I've heard
though,
that
that fits.
which one came first, the hen or the egg, or or the bear or the berries. Because that's really what they eat a lot of that.
They
stuff.
do. They
Unless
eat a
they're
lot of
eating,
fruit.
like other fish and animals and stuff, but they eat a lot of berries. Like they, it's like a thing. It makes you wonder though.
It does. It makes you wonder. How's the Irish Flake going with it though? Is it filling in gaps or just is it a blank canvas at this point?
I think it's almost like a sponge and it's soaking it up, and not in a way that like I'm losing flavor. If that's what the mental picture you're having. It's more like
They're holding it.
Imagine a newly fresh made wooden table. And for the first time you want to leave it raw. So the first time you're putting oil on it, linseed oil or whatever it is, the way that wood is soaking it up, it's actually adding to, it's not taking away from, but it's not changing what it is. It's maybe enhancing it. It's making it shine, but it's soaking it into the oil soaking into the wood, making that wood better. That's kind of what it's doing. I don't think it's like making it different or like adding to it, but it's just kind of working with it, kind of soaking it up like a sponge, or like the wood would soak up oil, or leather soaks up smoke, just makes it, complete. I think that's what it is. I think I'd be really hard pressed to pick another tobacco. Like, it would have to be something like this. You wouldn't want anything too basic that doesn't have enough flavor on its own, but you'd have to be careful not to get anything with too much flavor, because then again, I think it'd be hard to pick the right pairing for this. I think
you kind of need to go fairly basic.
Yeah, but still quality and still
basic with an edge.
Depth, some depth to it, and good on its own right, but without being so. It doesn't really have its own identity, so to speak. Yeah. All right, Nick, you're up.
Yeah.
Barker's Mill.
Barker's Mill.
Yes. I've this might be my third bottle I've gone through of Barker's Mill. It's not easy to get. And it was a wife pick, actually. Mary found it randomly. And she goes, "Haven't you been looking for this bottle?" And I said, "I don't know what the heck this bottle is." No. She was like, "Barker's Mill. You've been looking for Barker's." I was like, "Parker's? Parker's Heritage?" Like, that's what I've been looking for. I don't think Barker's. Like, that's not it. But I think I'm coming to a realization when talking to you guys, asking why you picked the one you picked. We love deep flavor. Like long lasting, deep, yes. And the ones that they're either going to last for a while and you don't have to drink that much, be like, I remember what it was. I have it on the back of my tongue. Or to where it's a long lasting conversation that comes out of that bottle. And this is that like long lasting flavor that just goes on and on and on. It also reminds me of pizza dough. My mom used to make like fresh pizza dough. And it would come in on like a Sunday afternoon when it was rising, and the whole house smelled like that yeast pizza dough.
She was making like 8 at a time.
Yeah, yep. And that's what this smells like. I don't know how you get that smell or that flavor, but this is one of the few bottles that I've ever had that has that remnants of that flavor.
Yeah, I totally get that pizza, that yeast kind of homemade pizza dough. And you've mentioned that before. And I do think that is such a great, but see, what you're talking about again is kind of what I'm always harping on. And I think the podcast at this point, this is something we pick out, but the flavors and everything being tied to a memory. And I mean, even the bottle I picked is tied to that memory we had at Blake's. You brought that up, Steve, with yours. I mean, even brought you back to you were like, oh, was that a Prince dinner? Yeah, it had to be, because I mean, just it brings back these strong memories, the way that sounds and smells do as well. And even that is such closely tied to that sight, sound memory that you have with your mom making pizza, that all of a sudden you're swept back into this thing that when you're a kid and you walk in and the excitement of pizza night, your mom's taking your order. Like, what do you want? What do you want the toppings to be? Right. And then I don't know, for you, was it a square pizza or was it round?
It was square.
Yeah, square.
So I mean, we were close enough to like Detroit, where it was Detroit style, where it was the square, thick pan.
Yeah. We did mostly square, and if it was circle, every now and then she would cut it in squares, because that's just how we did it. But I grew up. There were 7 of us, so 9 of us in the whole house. So it was a lot of pizza, and I would eat one by myself. So like what you said. That dough was sitting on the counter all day, and then when the oven gets fired up, like the sight, sound, smell kind of memory that's tied to that bottle, it just makes it so much more special.
It does, and So the other reason why I was like, okay, this is top on the list. Mary got it. That's special. The smell and flavor reminds me of home memory. But then to bring it on the podcast, I think you had it prior. But CJ was on. I don't remember. You weren't on.
Yep,
it was CJ and Blake.
CJ, yep.
And neither of them had it yet. And to watch their reaction of like, holy crap. Like, how do I get my hands on it? Like, this is wonderful. Like, everything you talk about, the memories, the smell, the flavor, it was all there. So when I talk about like my mom making homemade pizza, it was on Sunday evenings. She'd started around like 1, 2 in the afternoon. But we're talking like, at this point, high school. and we'd always have a group of guys over to play football. And so we'd go outside and we'd spend the entire afternoon beating each other up and coming in and going, pizza. Like you, as a guy, you beat each other up, you have fun, and you come in, you're like, we can all gather around a table now around something we all enjoy. And there's guys now that heck, there was a guy that a couple months ago went back for a high school reunion, and he went to high school with me, and he like came up to me and was like, dude, do you remember playing football at your mom's house and having the pizza? Like, that's still a memory for them. And so for me, having all the guys try this and be like, wow, like there's something tied to this like I never thought of before. That's like, for me, it's like starting a whole new football Sunday memory.
Well, and, you bring up an interesting point that I've talked about this before, but there's very few foods other than popcorn is another one I always talk about, but that are as intimate as pizza, which that sounds really weird, right? But when you really think about it, usually a pizza, it is the round one, but usually you're facing the person. Your guys are you're really sharing something. Not a whole lot, even if, most people don't use a plate, but even if you use a plate, you're reaching in, other people are reaching in. There's always that awkward moment when you get down to the last couple slices of who's going to get it. And, people are usually overly nice with it. Like, oh no, you have it. No, you have it.
But we'll split it.
Yeah, we'll split it. Yeah. Same thing with popcorn. It's a very intimate food. There's not a whole lot of foods out there where you're really kind of coming that close together to share something, and you get that with bourbon, you get that with whiskey, you get that with foods like pizza and popcorn. And again, those things have big smells to them. So like all of those things that kind of work together to kind of encapsulate something in your brain that kind of, it never goes away, and I do think that those kinds of experiences are something that maybe, but I think other people, maybe we need to seek out more for that, because I feel like anymore in today's world, there's especially since, COVID stuff, like even going back to that, like the connection we have is not what it used to be, and I think that's something that a lot of people do crave.
There's a big topic around all of that is the third place. It's your first two places is home and work. Yep. That's where you see. And it used to be there was a third place, whether that be a bar, a church, a bowling league, that kind of thing. Yeah. And everyone always had this other thing that they did every week or every day or whatever. And like, watching like an old TV show like Cheers was that third place for them. That was the place that they all went. So it was this place that you had, and there aren't very many third places anymore. Like that idea is kind of gone. People don't have bowling leagues anymore. You don't have a poker night, and a lot of people don't go to church anymore. So like, what is that thing? And that's the community that you're aching for. And so some people find it online, like doing like video games or whatever else and doing live gaming. For us, it's become the whiskey club. Like the club is our way of being able to get out of the house and do stuff. And that's our community aspect that people yearn for, but it's also very difficult to do. And so, yeah, that kind of all feeds into that.
And you can definitely see it in people that maybe don't have that. When you bring things like that up, you can see the yearning for something that maybe that has gone away in the last couple of years, that people are coming out of that a little bit and they're starting to search for it a little bit more. Yeah.
So we picked our favorite of the year. We've been doing this for a while. Can you guys think of another year of the podcast or club where you're like, I clearly have a favorite?
I mean, in terms of like sets, like entire years, like for the club, we have themes for every year. So for that one, I think my favorite was the finishing year. The store picks has been a lot of fun, and I think I'm getting a lot out of those bottles, but they're not quite as reliable as a lot of the finishings are. The source year was definitely a struggle. They were all fine, but they were definitely touch and go.
That was definitely a working year
on purpose.
Yeah. And so, but
it stretches you.
It was a good time for that, because it was after the first year where you're kind of hitting all of the big names and stuff, and so it made sense for that. And Around the World was another good one for that year, just it's a learning year. You learn kind of what you like and what you don't like. But yeah, I think finishing years for sure has been mine. For the podcast, a bottle that I think about a lot, and I haven't been able to, I don't have it anymore, it's long gone, was the Teddy Roosevelt bottle.
Oh, you don't have that? You don't, the Rough Rider?
Yeah, the Rough Rider.
Yeah. And so I finished mine long ago.
I mean, that was like year one.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And I don't know why. I just
Because
really
you're
like
such a
that
history
bottle.
guy.
I do really like Teddy Roosevelt, so I think that's probably at least part of it. But it was like kind of my first run into New York whiskeys and stuff, and kind of the New York style of distilling. So that's a bottle that I always kind of think about a lot that I don't have anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I forgot about the Rough Rider.
Yeah,
I forgot that we did it
thinking,
on the podcast.
This is Steve's kind of bottle.
Yeah.
Every time I see that bottle, because I still have mine. Every time if you want some, every time I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's like Steve's bottle. It just reminds me of Steve. Yeah, I don't. That for me, that's an impossible thing to answer. There's just so many bottles, and for me, again, I tie them to like who was on the podcast at that time. You know, what did we talk about, or you know, or whatever. But that's it's so hard for me to say like which one would be my favorite. I could probably go back through and, you know, say favorite episodes or something like that. You know, but that's tough. Do you have anything in your mind, or are you kind of like me where you?
So what's interesting is the reason I bring this up, we've been doing the podcast for 5 years now, because 2020,
We started it in 2020.
September of 2020.
We didn't even do anything special for the 5 years.
We didn't.
We didn't, but that's what I'm getting at. We talk about
10 years. We'll have to do it for
If
10.
you
Yeah,
look
we'll do
at
10 years.
if you look at going in 5 years and you look at like whiskey podcasts, by like year 1 or 2, they're like, "Ooh, we got this Weller Foolproof. Ooh, we got Pappy's. Ooh, we got this. We got." I look at us and I look at what we've all done, and I look at this year alone. I'm like, "Holy crap!" Like we jumped a milestone this year of all the bottles that we got on, but it was 5 years worth of trying to build up to that, and it wasn't a build up. It wasn't a. It was like using a stick shift car. Like we just slowly got into the right gear.
Well, it's like looking in the mirror. You don't see yourself growing or aging, but you know, like before you know it, you're 18 years old going off to college. Like you don't see it happening.
Right.
You know, that's kind of how the podcast is.
I think for me, that's the favorite part. It's not a bottle. It's more of looking at what we've done and where we come. Because if we had Little Book right away, I don't think we would have all appreciated what it was. This sounds weird. Even if we had the flavored whiskey that you weren't a part of, year 1, I don't think that we would have appreciated it for what it was.
I think we would have appreciated more.
Maybe
interesting.
too much.
No, I think we would have liked it more.
We would have liked. There we go.
that's
Yes,
what I mean.
yeah. We would have liked
We
the
would have
flavor a whole
liked
lot more.
The flavor
Yeah.
a lot more at the beginning.
Disgusting.
Right.
And look at all the bottles we've done this year alone. I'm like, I don't know that we would have had the appreciation for the worth of what they actually were worth. Not dollar amount, but what they were comprised of and what they meant. I don't know that we would have had that a year, 2 years in. And so for me, looking back, I think one of the reasons why I was like, dang, it was so hard to pick one was because I saw that image of we really took our time. Like we just kind of slowly went through it. And now we're like, okay, we can appreciate this.
Yeah.
We're going to have it on. We're going to appreciate it. We're going to.
It's just like growing. I mean, there's things that happen at the time you don't appreciate it, and then later on, the older you get, the more you look back and you appreciate it even more. Sometimes you appreciate it even way more. I think that's just what it is. It's just we're growing as a, you know, not just like our palates or whatever, but the podcast itself. We're kind of getting to this point where we're starting to kind of maybe get a momentum. We're hitting our stride.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is that at the beginning, there were certain things you kind of have to do if you're going to be a whiskey podcast. You have to talk about Maker's Mark. You have to talk about Jim Beam. You have to do that at the start. And those are important things to learn about and do. But when we decided, you know, we're not really reviewing bottles. We're really talking about distilleries and where they came from and their story, then that kind of means we can kind of only do one Maker's Mark. Like we can't do a whole bunch of different, like a special release version of that or whatever. You know, we break that a little bit when it comes to like the little books, but that's because of kind of the cool story behind how they got going and that section of Jim Beam.
Well, we would have been done. I think that if we were only talking about like the nose and which we, you know, we don't hit on a ton, and we could more, but the thing is we don't want to. Like it would be so boring for us. And not just the people listening. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But for us, it would be 5 or 10 minutes. We'd be done talking about it. Then every time we come in here, it would be the same kind of crud. And it's like, okay, well, there are some variations here. There's a lot of variations. But at the end of the day, like, it's just so like the same thing over and over again. You know, like you need to. Here's the thing. When you go to a museum and you look at art, It's never about the components that, and I've harp on this, right? It's never about the components that make up the artwork. It's not about the clay that was used. It's not about the paint that was used. I mean, that might come in a little bit, right? A little bit. And it's not even really what the artist was going through at the time that he did it, or what inspired him even. That might be part of it too. But what it really is, and this is where I get kind of passionate and excited. It's what the art does to you. It's what it brings out in you. It's what it makes you think and feel and remember and look forward to. That's what our podcast is. Yeah. It's really not about what goes into the art. It's about what the art does to us, right? And I'm not saying 100% what I say is what it is. And, and that's what it is. Like, that's what art is. It's different for every person.
And since we decided we were going to talk more about the distilleries and stuff, we've gone down the craft distilleries route. And so, which is
because they're very art
exactly.
Forward.
They're all very different. There really isn't a set line on how a craft distillery gets started. We found a few things that kind of have, that there's this section of people that are techies that ended up somehow doing distilling, and kind of
we tried to avoid them.
So kind of what happens with their stuff.
Sometimes
yeah. Then you have a lot of
cool.
Yeah. Then you have your scientists and that kind of stuff. A lot of engineers and stuff that end up doing it. So you have a lot of that. And then you have the people that just buy brands. You have the financiers and things. So you have
the people that just fall into it. Yeah. And it becomes a family thing.
Exactly.
They learn as they go.
So all those things kind of happen, and they all have their own unique story, but also because of they're all so unique and so from all over the place, there's not really a solid through line between any of them. Whereas if we were just going after the big names, they all are pretty similar. There's variations, but there's no story behind it. There's not a lot of that. So when we decided to go down the craft distillery route, it really leaves a lot of room to experiment and do more, whether it's with them or on our own, whatever it is. So I'm excited for where that goes. And now that we've really decided that and really landed into it and everything, it's been a lot of fun.
We're the craft guys.
Yeah.
That's just what we've, we love the big names, and we love the history, and they've earned it, and we appreciate that. And I mean, hell, I'm still in awe, with the big names, you know what I mean? But we get excited. Yeah. It's kind of like my dad was a big fan of minor league baseball. And I didn't get it for a long time. I grew up going to minor league games. We went to major league games too, but my dad got very excited about minor league baseball, not so much about major league baseball. And again, we lived in St. Louis. We went to the Cardinals. We've gone to other ones. He grew up in California, so went to the Dodgers all the time. Things like this. But he always got very excited about minor league baseball. And I never understood these guys, but he would always say these guys move up, they move down. You could be looking at the next, at the time, Mark McGwire, you know what I mean? Now, whatever. But he was and he loved the fact that, this is the under club for these guys, and this is the under club for these guys. And these guys move up and they move down, and sometimes they move back. But at the end of the day, these guys are wanting it. They work for it. They're not resting on, their stats or what they've done already.
They haven't made it yet.
Right, they haven't made it yet, a lot of them. So they're working. They're working hard, and they love it, right? You can see it. If you ever gone to a minor league baseball game, you can tell these guys actually love the fans still. And I think that part of that gets taken away when you get to the major leagues. You're almost so intimidated that you have to put on this air of nonchalance. Don't look at the crowd. Don't think about it, right? But that eventually will translate to, I don't look at the crowd. I don't think about it. I don't care about the fans. But when you're in minor league and it's a lot more intimate, again, smaller stands and everything else, it's these guys really get it. And that makes me feel the same way about craft distilleries. A lot more. You can go in and talk to these guys who are actually putting these bottles together. And I mean, anybody can. And these guys are passionate. And I'm not saying that, Jim Beam's not, but because they are. Those guys are too. But they have so much more. They're the major league
story. Yeah.
They already have built up, they never have to talk to another fan again. They're still going to be Jim Beam. Yeah. Whereas these other ones, they're still working, they're grinding, they're trying to figure out, they're innovating. That's a big thing. They're innovating, right? And I just find that so much. So I guess I'm a minor league baseball guy, is what I'm getting at, and I'm a craft guy. I've just gotten to that point in you know, maybe my son will be like, "Oh, what's Dad likes minor league baseball? What's the deal with that?" That's weird, you know. Maybe when he's older, he'll get it. Yeah,
Clippers game again.
The Clippers game again, Dad. Stop my dog night.
Right.
So excited.
You talk about the craft world compared to minor leagues. You talk about guys appreciating the fans. So this is not a knock on you, Chris, that you couldn't make the interview. But if you think about the interviews that we've done, right, the ones that come to my mind: Journeyman, Still 630, Wiggle, and Liberty Pole.
So the only one I haven't been to is Still 630.
Yes.
For anybody wondering.
So
which I do wish I had been there.
If you guys look at all of those, what was the thing that like you could look at all four and be like, this was the same for all four?
I think we probably come up with a few different. For me, passion's the big thing.
Yeah, the passion, the heart. Yeah, it's the drive that they're still having.
I didn't realize it for me until Liberty Pole. There was a moment where Ellen came on and he said, "Oh, Mom, we got Mom on, Ellen, right?" Do you remember what she said?
It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to be here. I respect the crap out of you guys. So that was like the eye opener for me of like looking back of all of them. That idea of respecting what we're doing, why we came, why we want to be a part of this. That was resounding for all four of
it's
those.
like the respect for the fans breeds admiration from the fans to the
yeah. And it was like,
and when you lose that, then you're disconnected.
Yep. And at first it was almost like when we reached out to him, it was like, yeah, I mean, come on down and like do this. And then they started talking. It was like, oh, do you guys want to own this too? Like everything is yours. What do you guys want? Like, let's just throw it at you guys. Like, try this. I know it's not that I know that you'll be like, oh, you're great at what you do. You're going to challenge me like, man, that's really good. But have you thought about this? Or like, man, I don't know about that one. Have you tried letting it age a little bit longer? Or tried letting it finish a little bit more? Like, it's almost there. It's not quite there yet.
They are fans of fans. And to me, that is like the ultimate win. Like you completely figured it out. Like for me, because you'll never, if you are that way, you're never going to lose what makes you special. And you're going to constantly be doing stuff that's going to make you better and better and better and better. And that's true with not only bourbon and distilleries and whiskey and everything, but that's true with like anybody's job, you know, and or, you know, family or friends or whatever relationships you have. Like once you lose that, you either need to like figure it out or stop.
And we're kind of ending the month of the month of December and the year with this episode coming off of really great interviews to then spirits of past, present, future to now. And I think about Christmas and I think about gifts, right? And there's gifts that you get, you're like, man, did you really think that one through? Like, I guess I'll take it. Like the obligatory, like, okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Like that's great. Thanks. But it's probably going to sit somewhere and probably go to Goodwill or might find the trash. But I think about that idea with the podcast, where we come in 5 years. And I don't know that I realized it until now, but the gift of being able to, at first, share the experience with people, right? But now I feel like the gift after 5 years for me, selfishly, has been watching people want to be a part of it. Watching people say, I respect what you guys are doing and I want to play a part of it. I want to be a part of the episode. I want to be a part of drinking, right? I want to be a part of this, sitting in a pipe room and having a glass and smoking a pipe along with you guys. I want to have my whole family on the podcast recording with you guys and not complain once of how we have to like scream and yell over each other. Like, to me, that's the gift for this year of like looking back and be like, man, at first it was, who will listen? We don't really care. And now it's like people actually believe, like not just believe what we're saying, but like people actually want to do what we're doing. Like people actually want to share in that memory. They want to open a bottle and talk about what's going on in life or talk about a memory. And they, in a world where that third piece is missing, it's fun to watch. It's a gift to watch people want to be a part of that for me.
And I'm really thankful that we get a chance to share the stories of all these distilleries and kind of let people know about them. Because, you know, that, I mean, if you're not from that area and you don't go seeking out them, they're not usually on your shelves if you're in for
Well,
other
yeah,
states
it's like-
or whatever
like
else.
Neely,
You know?
like a
Yeah,
lot of people
Neely,
have
that's-
never ever heard of Neely, and there's a lot of distilleries out there that are like that. Like maybe in that area, people know,
Right.
but a lot of them haven't gotten into other states or whatever it is.
I mean, Wiggle and Liberty Pole, neither of those are in Ohio. And so if you're in Ohio, you've probably never heard of them. And they're not in a lot of, they're not in most states. So lots of our listeners have never heard of them before.
it does make
and-
it hard when you're singing their praises and people are like, "Who? What?" You know,
Yeah,
it's like, well,
exactly,
they're
yeah.
not here in Ohio,
Yeah.
but someday,
One day.
trust me, they're awesome.
Yeah. I swear they're good. Yeah.
Like, where'd you go? Oh yeah. And I tell them about it. Oh yeah, I know. I was like, I don't think you do because they're not actually here, but someday you will know, and then you'll be like, oh yeah.
So luckily, you can get most things via mail. You can,
And you can travel.
You can travel to them.
around. Life is short.
yeah.
Get in the car.
Exactly. Yeah, and these places are cool. They're cool cities and stuff. St. Louis had some amazing barbecue.
Dude, I never thought I'd like
Pittsburgh.
Pennsylvania so much.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's a great city.
Yeah,
So-
Pittsburgh was nice. I liked it. You know.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
all.
Merry
Merry
Christmas,
Christmas.
Yeah. Or whatever it is you celebrate. Happy holidays.
Happy
holidays.
Hanukkah.
The
Blake?
blanket. Yeah, Blake.
Yeah.
If
Shout
you're
out
listening,
to Blake. Yep.
L'chaim. Happy Hanukkah. We love you,
Kwanzaa.
dude. Kwanzaa. Don't forget that one. What are the other ones?
I don't know. I'm
a
sure there's
few.
lots
I'm
more.
sure there's
Yule.
some more.
They're just Yule.
Yuletide.
Yeah, Yule.
Yule.
Yeah,
Is that
various
what? Yeah.
pagan holidays? So yeah,
Well, you said Christmas. It's kind of pagan.
Yule is the pre-Christ version of it.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's still being celebrated by some.
Roman.
Scandinavian, I think.
Scandinavian.
Yeah, I think they're the ones that.
Denmark.
I think they're the ones that do Yule mostly. But Vikings and such.
All those guys.
Yeah.
Greenland,
Are there still
Iceland.
Vikings around?
I mean, if you're like Swedish or whatever, I think your ancestry is Viking.
Yeah, Swedish people
Really?
are really cool. By the way.
Yeah, that's why I can't picture them as Vikings.
I know they seem so nice.
They will pillage your town.
But they will pillage you to death.
they're nice, but they carry a big
But
stick.
Watch
Yeah.
out.
Who is it that said that? Be nice, but carry a big stick.
That's Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah. That
What a
is,
man!
yeah.
What a freaking man!
Was he Scandinavian?
Probably, yeah.
He was.
I think it comes from Leif
he was
Erikson's
English.
line. Yeah, that's what it is. Sure.
But anyway, happy
Anyway.
holidays, Merry Christmas, all that fun jazz.
Yes.
And
Till the next one.
we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want more great content and other perks, be sure to support the show by clicking the link in the show notes. We can be reached on our website, whiskeychaserspod.com, with any ideas for the show. Thanks again.